We as ADHDers are no stranger to big emotions. It's less a question of what am I feeling and more of a question of how do I keep this thing from taking over my life, right? So now that we've covered the guarding emotion of anger, we can enter in to the more vulnerable feelings, starting with worry. ADHD worry usually has this theme of being real sensitive to signs of outward rejection and to proof that we have not lived up to our very high expectations of our own selves. It's usually followed by emotional devastation and even physical pain in response. It can catch like a raging fire, roaring totally out of control and taking over every aspect of our lives if it goes unchecked. So, how do we keep that thing checked? I'm Dana Hicks, a licensed clinical mental health counselor, and have 8 tips for working worry for our good. Tip 2 is symbolize it. So if these symptoms that you have listed had a color, shape, texture, temperature, location in or around your body, what would those things be? So list them and draw them out all together as one symbol. Tip 3 is name it and tame it. So now once you have a set of symptoms and even a symbol for them top of mind, you can more readily notice when it's happening in the moment. So go ahead and give it a name. You can name it whatever you want. It doesn't have to be anxiety. Whatever comes to mind, name it. Oh, I am this right now. Then take care of your body. Make a shift in your environment somehow. That might look like going to the freezer, taking a cube of ice in your bare hands so that it shocks your body into calming down immediately. Or push on a very sturdy wall and try to push that thing down until you cannot push anymore. Or going outside, getting fresh air, walking or running until you can't anymore. Having a dance party. Ask your body, how would you like to get rid of this extra energy? And allow it to happen. Then that's going to clear your mind to answer the rest of these questions. Tip 4 is consider the motive. So once your body has returned to baseline and your logic is back online, return to that symbol of worry and ask it, if I assume that you're working for my good in some way, what specific motive might you have in showing up right here, right now for my good? And pause, trusting that the answer will come, and it will. So the communication here can look any way you're comfortable with. It could be writing a letter, doing a gesture, having a conversation in your head, or drawing, however you want it to look. Once the answer does come to you, make sure you let the symbol know that you notice exactly what it's trying to do and that you are genuinely grateful for it. So examples of what that motive might be could be it's trying to help you connect with others. It's trying to help you reach your potential that it knows that you have. Or it's trying to help you know more what to expect within your environment. Tip 6 is invite it to relax. So once you have thanked the motive, then ask yourself, okay, that's the motive, that's great, but how's it actually playing out in the here and now? Is it actually functional for me? And if the answer is no, then there's a little bit too muchness going on, which means that worry is so passionate about what it's trying to do for you that it is just giving it its all. And that is thankworthy. So make sure you thank the worry for the amount of passion, the intensity, the frequency it's trying to do this for you. Also, make sure that you say, worry, you've got to be exhausted though. You got to be so tired. Where would you love to go for a vacation? If you could vacation anywhere in the world, money, time, travel, not an issue. Where would you love to go to get the rejuvenation that you specifically need right here, right now? And let it tell you. Let it tell you all about it, all the senses. What would you smell there? What would you see there? What would you feel on your skin there? Let it tell you all the details. And invite it to stay there as long as it wants. Tip 6 is functionalize the motive. So once a worry is chilled out in its vacation spot, return to that motive with a clear mind, logic wrapped around, and ask it, okay, with this specific situation though, what is our sphere of control? What do we have control over and what do we not have control over? And then within that, what we have control over, what are our choices of meeting that motive more functionally? So an example of this process with the motive of seeking more connection could be, so our realm of control, what do we have control over? Let's see. We have control over our own behaviors, our own words, our own thoughts. We don't have control over how other people respond to us, right? So, and then with our choices, choices of connection, we could widen our net when we invite people to do things so that we're not relying on one person to respond positively. There's a lot more probability that somebody's going to say, yeah, let's go do that. Another choice might be, okay, connection. Since I have control over 100% of my decisions, I could make the conscious choice that I will provide my own self with company. And the thing about that is I'm 100% available whenever I need company, and just learn to have fun with my own self. Tip 7 is address the what ifs. So with worry, what ifs happen a lot, right? And it's part of the downward moving cycle. So take your worst case scenario and ask yourself, okay, if that happened, how would I love to respond to that? And imagine yourself responding exactly like that in your mind. Play a movie of it. It'll strengthen that connection so that if it does happen, you'll automatically have something prepared. Tip 8 is lean into the lesson. So try asking yourself, okay, what lesson might this have taught me that's important to put toward my future so that yucky outcome is avoided next time? Once you identify that lesson, imagine yourself putting it in place in a future similar situation. Stay with that imagery as long as you need and notice any shift that happens on the inside as a result of imagining yourself stepping up to the next level of awesomeness. To wrap up, worry can be so elusive, unpredictable, and arresting, especially for us ADHDers. But hopefully now you're armed with ideas of how to validate and leverage that energy toward even better functioning in your future. Stay tuned for next time on managing depression. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below with no strings attached.